Hey neighbor, I was getting ready to get us prepared to make our cornbread mix in order to put on our shelf. And then I was thinking, like often, some people don't even know. So let's review this real quick, okay? I'm gonna show you this. Okay, our flowers. Our flowers are key to us making good breads, good cornbreads, good eats, okay? And so we keep several different flours, our all-purpose flour, our bread flour, cornmeal, wheat flour. Now, what are the differences and how does that affect how you're baking? I'm going to put up a little chart so you can see that the main part about your flours is going to be its protein levels. So if you want a chewier bread or a lighter bread, if you're baking cakes, cake flour, it's a finer flour and the protein levels are different. Use this chart as a reference. Milling does make a difference in your flour. For the most part, I know my neighbors aren't milling their own flour, but it will change the texture and consistency of your breads if you are self-milling flour. Now, I am neither for or against milling your own wheat, okay? I have found successes and I've also found failures in it. If you choose to do so, absolutely, knock yourself out. If not, that's okay too. We like to go with unbleached flours that haven't been treated as much, but you're going to use what you have. And for today's purposes, we're just going to grab some cornmeal, get to making this cornbread for shelf-stable mix. So a few notes before we get started in making our cornbread. I showed you all the flours. One that I did not show you that I'm going to be using to make it a little easier is self-rising flour. Now, what is the difference with self-rising flour? Self-rising flour already has baking soda, baking powder in it. Okay, so you don't need that when you're using self-rising flour, and it just makes it easier to get a nice fluffy cornbread. Also, we are using yellow fine ground cornmeal. Okay, I don't really use the coarse ground in my cornbread because I got certain tastes that I enjoy. Also, this can be removed, but for me, it is a key factor. Okay, we're going to be using our buttermilk powder. You can use the full fat milk powder as well, but I really enjoy the buttermilk powder. You can omit this, and when we get everything together, then I'll show you what you're going to replace this with if you don't have milk powder at home. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to do 2 cups of self-rising flour. While we are mixing it in the bowl, instead of just putting it in the jar, to make sure that everything is incorporated really well. To our flour, we're going to add a half a cup of sugar. You could do less, but you know, Southern sweet cornbread. It's what I enjoy. And a cup and a half of your fine yellow cornmeal. We're going to do a teaspoon and a half of salt. And then we're going to do 4 tablespoons of our milk powder. And that's it. We're going to mix all of this together so that it's evenly incorporated. And we're going to get this to a jar. All right, we're all mixed up, and then we're going to go ahead and just put it in our jar for storage, okay? So this is going to give you about 2 servings of cornbread mix. You could go up or down in your recipe. If you're storing smaller amounts, you can go down by cutting your things in half, or you can go up to fill. I try to keep 2 on hand to make sure that I can get through, but you could add more to fill it up. This just makes sure that I use it before it doesn't taste as good to me. This can be stored on your shelf for up to a year as long as it is kept dry. Now, we have our dry mix. How are we going to make cornbread? This is what you're going to do to make your cornbread. You're going to add these ingredients to 1 1/2 cups of your dry mix, okay? And then we're going to bake it and have delicious cornbread. Now, earlier when I was talking about omitting your milk powder or your buttermilk powder, where you would add 1/3 cups of water if you added your buttermilk, you would add 1/3 cups of milk if you opted out. And we're going to label. And not only are we going to label, we're going to label and put the directions on the back of the jar. So that way, if somebody else were to come into it, they can make it. What do I use? Because we go back and forth, those Dollar Tree chalkboard labels. Get you some of those and a chalkboard marker, and then you can erase them and change them as you need it. But that's our cornbread mix. I hope you'll give this a try. Give Jiffy a break. Put something on your shelf. Okay, neighbor, I'm talking to you.